Slam coach for the Trinidad and Tobago National Slam. You ready for your feature? Let me hear you say yeah. Start clapping. Start making as much noise as possible. She ready for the party. Let's make as much noise.
Such an honor to be here this evening. Thank you so much, Drive and family and Rico and everybody, Pepe. I'm happy to be home, happy to be back. Thank you so much for being here. Can you hear a distant drum bouncing off the laughter of a melody? And does the rhythm tell you come, 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 come? Does it make your spirit dance to its symphony? And does it tell you that your heart is afire? And does it tell you that your pain is a liar? And does it wash away all your unlovely? And are you ready for a brand new discovery? We singing oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah, calypso. We singing oh yeah yeah, oh yeah yeah, oh yeah, calypso. The morning sees that the people have been waiting the way they wear the night on the oil spill down their legs. Bronze flesh glazed black and then glow in the dark torches and then fluorescent paint smearing face, tribal, war and ready. Djembe drum, beat metal, knock glass and then chip. This morning, the sun is dancing down Empire Boulevard. The tangerine silk of her cape is wiping awake the faces of her children. The sea of color is multiplying itself and draining people out from tenements, out from their sleep, out onto the sidewalk and is now washing the streets with music. This morning, Brooklyn is the safest place away from MacBook DJs and music trucks with the crews and boombox speakers. All we have are ourselves, our hands, our rhythm sections, hand claps, heart thumps, and chapters of dancing from our history. I hear them say the music is a restless spirit. I hear they had to warn NYPD about this. I hear West Indians just export their culture and take all their customs down to everywhere they settle. I hear the Caribbean having a problem with criminals. I hear them talk about canceling the parade every year, but Eastern Parkway is a bomb scare of a block party. Below the angry sun and sea of liquor. We are crowds of color, beads, feathers, and then red. We are congestion, then clearing and people stampeding down train station steps. We are gunshot wounds to the head and ambulances stuck in parading traffic. We are magic till morning before the end of the day. We are glitter dusted bulleters fleeing in masquerade. And I can't explain the guns. What came first, the islands or the criminals? The name West Indian came from a murderer, Christopher. And Carnival was the name of a struggle for freedom. There are more police vendors. There are more police officers than they have food vendors out here with Trinidad and Jamaica pushing world rates of violence. So can you then explain to me what culture is? I just think that we have mastered exporting it. I just think that we have mastered becoming it.
Whoa! That is great. That is great.
Thank you so much, Nuyorican. So this evening, happy new moon to people who believe in strange things like astrology, like myself. To celebrate this new moon, which I didn't plan it just happened, I'm actually dropping a chapbook today, which will be available for sale. So, hey, we have a chapbook. We have a chapbook. So I'm going to read you some poems from here. Is that all right?
Yes.
Perfection. All right. I'm going to start with a poem about rum because I was pre-gaming before I reached here. Thank you to friends who make you rum cocktails before you gigs as well important as support system. Rum Kitchen does not hire me. Rum Kitchen is a restaurant in London. They didn't hire me. Because I do not know my rums. My family drinks Scotch whiskey on holidays and white wine for birthday dinners. I must have forgotten the history of misbehavior this white London bloke wants to make sure that I know he knows about. I cannot recall the molten parts of my ancestry by name that drowned hot in their distillation. It must have cost him an arm and a leg to import all these bottles across an ocean filled with so much static. I do not know the pregnant boiler that housed its deep and sharp burn before the hollow hallowed be of his throat. I know how it singes the back of the mouth with my grandfather's pickaxe anger in overproof from the heat of the always summer fevering of my homeland. I do not know the bitter of molasses and its black beginnings, how it could turn sweet want on the tongue. I do not know the nuances along the white to brown continuum of color, of slave master burning his rage onto a plantation bed beyond the notice of his wife. The child is the mother's sober reminder of what the drunken night can do. I do not know the single barrel from the double barrel pointed down the nape of my cousin's neck behind the bridge on the way home from a fete last August. I do not know the need to drunken myself into an unrecognizable mirror at night for the sake of forgetting the scorn of the day as they do so well here. I do not know my rums, the name of these spirits' plantations past. Thank you. So, the title of the chapbook is called Containing in Itself All Sweetness, and it is a collection of spells, of poems, of things that, you know, women talk about, especially Caribbean women, and how we, I guess, just navigate life over land, over sea, and all these really great tourist things that they say about us. Theism. The man before you wasn't sure how he felt about a god. I say that comes with inheriting the colonizer's shade for skin, or that ambiguity in his blood, unresolved on any faith. He did not trust belief, and neither do I, but did not trust anything not flesh, not form, not standing before him, in other words. Did not know the worship between bed frame, steeple, and honey on the altar of his tongue. Did not choose the hell of my heated core to will me back angelic song. Did not know the dance religion that spines make of the quad-poster palais, its anointed corners, sweet oil, rose water, long grain rice, the remnant mound of candle wax. Woke up and called me a Warner woman the morning after. As you have made of me in your own dialect, I suppose it is always the best explanation for the mind's fluster, the Budweiser vase of questions, polite in the mummed mouth, the how come in the low hours of the morning, and how so fast, so soon. I trust my hands to do my mending work over the laid heap of them in the dark. I fix the flow of love in their bodies and send them on their moving way. I always find the men who are most busy with their beehive of hunting women, watching me with the kind of glances they are willing to lose their single stinger over. Thank you. This next poem is called The Safety First, or what I would like to call it, or the reasons my parents fall out with me. I do not know what it was to walk around as a child with pillows tied across my chest and strapped across my back with arms flailing in the middle like toddler swimming floats. Have never worn a helmet with my bike or with my silver rollerblades, with my heart, never afraid of getting my hair wet in the rain until I got braids. Never a safety belt strapped until my parents' car accident last June. Wow. No lid for my mouth, however inappropriate of a teenager I grew. Have never walked into love with a shield, with an evacuation map, with a mattress waiting below to catch me wingless when I jump out the building. I have jumped every cliff that promised water at the bottom and without a wetsuit. Run around the red ants ridden backyard barefooted since I could walk. I do not ever have a plan B until it is needed, and then I make one with the best guess precision. I lose all my umbrellas within 3 months. I do not have a savings account. I do not know what it is to walk through the world ducking every blow, wary of anything that looks like it is bigger than me, carries more teeth in its mouth or bass in its voice. I also know what it is to wake up one morning and notice the bruises, the scarring, the tunneled pockets. I know the impiety of tropical rain turn the boat worthy flood. I know how death comes in slow motion so that we do not forget the details of her face. I know how it feels to be blatantly refuse love and live to laugh about it. I wake up anyway and walk and carry wild orchids bundled in my arms, trying to not get them bloodied. Thank you. Beautiful audience. I have one more poem to share. The chapbooks are here. They're on the table. I have this very vibranium-esque technology thing called PayPal, as well as still take cash because I'm from an island and I need to fulfill the stereotypes of untechnologically advanced peoples. So I also take cash. Cash is great. Cash is wonderful. So please, they're $10 each. Only $10. Right, so please feel free to check me and I'll sign it for you and write something really nice for you.
Yes.
Especially direct. Wine of acknowledgement. After Earl Lovelace's wine of astonishment. Earl Lovelace is a very great Caribbean writer, in case you didn't know. They say the music is aphrodisiac, how it flicks the switches in the zante of hips. It moves people to move. Here, the whole room becomes the slow-some action of heat, like God was baking her best Sunday roast in the oven of a Sunday still summer. My eyes are two small flames, but look the brightest red in the low-lit room where dance hall bass beats down on the wooden floor, a holy stomp like churchgoers in agreement, its belly hollow boards full of the recognition of feet. We have needed to worship in secret in these subterranean houses of hope, black subterfuge for a few centuries now. Bodies laboring in their sugar-sweet, sweaty magic. Blessings of the Holy Ghosts of those who footmark these beats back into earth before us. A prayer meeting at this party. My writhing flesh, a footnote for the Salve Regina. Hail, Holy Dancehall Queen. Hail, Holy Soca, our sweetness, our hope. I dance with my mother's white-laced hand fan, right wrist ribbed with gold bangles, all sirens does one with their noise, and finally, there you are. 95 minutes late, but not fashionable, just a West Indian man helping a stereotype to live on. The woman with you does not know this type of witchery, does not know which part of her body to offer to the judgmental god of the sound system. In a room full of rolling sound, as are my hips, as is every muscle in my back as it clings and unfolds across the tight space I have made my own on this floor. A crowded room of mating calls contracted for tonight only. She says, in her English blanched German accent, how she wishes she could move like me, which is to say, she wishes she could balance an earthquake-plated, unpredictable Atlantic in the trench of her stomach's center line. I say thank you in her earnest 3 a.m. tribute and keep blending my smiles with a show of half-drawn canines from the scabbard of my Merlot matte lips. But you have stepped onto this floor with your own intent, one that looks lowly behind a hide of three forehead fringed dreadlocks, squinting with the dare of flirtation. You do not ask questions with your eyes, but simply assume your hands on my propped up bare stomach and guide me through the song's change of tempo. I end with the safe distance of polite caution, with the intentional back that makes a comfortable landing that your body registers as want, and in that moment we both want and ask the same. That for here We live inside this forbidden fold of the song, inside the sex of these 10 seconds, only to ease bodies away at the DJ's transition as though it didn't happen. And according to the culture of this whole hot-air room, it did not.
One more time for that poet, please, everybody. And you said Eastern Parkway is a what?